Hi, welcome to the Alphabet Project G. F went great. My intros are too long, so let's just get started. I have Gem and Dixie by Sarah Zarr. I have never read anything by Sarah Zarr, but I met her in person at a book event 5 years ago, and I bought this 5 years ago, and I still have not read it. So I have the audiobook on Script. Next has been on my shelf so long, and that is The Great American Whatever by Tim Federal. I don't know anything about this. I've had it since Maryland. I've had it, how long have I been here? I've had it for like 7 years. It's just been sitting there. I have the audiobook of this. Next was one I was supposed to read in 2019 for a video, and then I got pregnant and got in a life slump, and so I'm reading it now, and that is Girls Burn Brighter by Shobha Rao. This was Kayla from Books and Lala's favorite book of 2018, and that was the video I was supposed to read it for and never did, so yep, I have the audiobook for that. Next is a book that I got a quarter of the way through and wanted to come back to it and never have, and now I'm going to do that. I have the audiobook of this, and that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I know exactly where I am in this book. However, I think I'm going to start it from the beginning. It's 32 hours on audiobook. I listen to audiobooks at 3 times speed, so it's not going to be anywhere close to 32 hours for me, but it's still going to be very long. Next is Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. I have had this for so long. I do have an audiobook of this. I believe this is the author's debut. I know nothing about it. I got it for the cover. Next is something I started and stopped listening to because for reasons, I don't know. This is The Girls by Emma Cline. I know that it is about serial killers, I think. Anyway, but last is one that I am starting tonight. I'm doing sprints on Rye's channel. I will put her down below. And this is the only book, it doesn't have an audiobook at all. It just was never made. And that is The Girl with the Red Balloon by Catherine Locke. I have read the inside cover of this, and this is a World War II historical fiction with time travel. Listen, I bought this because Madeline from Novel Inc., I don't think she's on Booktube anymore, but I will put her Instagram down below. She raved about this when I started Booktube in 2018, and I bought it and I didn't ever pick it up. So the theme of G, if you will, is books that I've had forever and never picked up, and that's really what I'm trying to do with all these letters of the alphabet, but really this one in particular. So I'm starting this one physically tonight, so I had to film this introduction. Once I get into it and learn more, I will update, as always, about what it's about. But romance, historical fiction, World War II is what I really know. So let's get into it. Hello, hi. I am 60 pages into The Girl with the Red Balloon, and I feel like a fucking idiot because I'm not understanding anything that happens. And I don't even know how to categorize this book. So the very first chapter, she time travels back to 1988 Berlin with the Berlin Wall. So it's time travel, historical fiction, but there's also magical realism. Like the red balloon that she touches to time travel is made by these people with magic. Anyway, in case you haven't guessed, I'm not liking this. I am doing reading sprints with a couple people, and I have 15 minutes left in this sprint, and I'm gonna give it one more sprint, which is 45 minutes of reading. And if I'm still not liking it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna read it. I've never really been into historical fiction. but I just feel stupid. So maybe I'm stupid. That's fine. I prefer contemporary romance, and this is not that, and that's fine. But I'm not going to keep reading something I'm not understanding, you know? Okay, so I just want to let you know how this is going, and it's not going well. So I'm probably going to DNF it. So stay tuned. Hello. So I'm in the middle of the sprint with everyone, and I made it to page 80. And I have decided to DNF this for a couple reasons. I'm just not liking it. It's historical fiction. I'm 80 pages in, and there's already the beginnings of a romance when she's in like this dire situation of her like having time traveled 30 years in the past. And I can't, like, I love romance. However, in this context of this book, I just don't think it's necessary, and I'm not liking it. So, unfortunately, my first book of G is a DNF, and I am upset because F went so well, but in reality, I can't like every book. So that's what's happening here. I have a couple books out from the library that I need to listen to before they expire, and then I will let you know what I'm reading next, but I think it might be the Goldfinch because it's so long and I should just do it. But unfortunately, the girl with the red balloon was a DNF, so that sucks. It sucks. Hello. Okay, so I DNF'd Girl with the Red Balloon. And I was looking at my shelves, and I've had this book on my shelves for a while. I actually tried to read it for another project that I did a while ago and DNF'd it, but kept the book because so many people were raving about it. And that's Get a Life, Chloe Brown. So I'm going to add this to my books for G. So I'm reading 7 books for G. There are no rules. This is my project. So it's just another book I can either keep or get off my shelves. So last time I read the audiobook and did not like the narrator. However, I'm less of an asshole now, still an asshole, but just less of one. So I am going to try the audiobook again because that's just my preferred way of reading now. It's just really relaxing to me. Why wouldn't I want someone to read to me? So I'm going to try it again. So this fits in with G, obviously. And then, so, you know, we'll see how this goes. Let's go. Okay. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I'm 47% in, which means I made it past where I had stopped listening to it the first time, so that's great. It's funny. Why didn't I just listen to it? Also, I was listening to it at 3 times speed. Absolutely not. I could not understand a damn thing. So I'm back to 2.5. Much better. Much better. Yeah. I feel much better about that. Since I stayed up so late yesterday, I have to go to bed at like 9 o'clock tonight, so continue this audiobook tomorrow the way. Okay, so I'm 70% into Chloe Brown. It's such a slow burn, which is not usually my favorite, but I'm still really liking it. I just don't like slow burn, but I think it's funny, and I really like Chloe in Red, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna finish it tonight. Hi, hello. I finally finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I have been trying to read this for a year. I think I've had it for like a year. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. The audiobook is atrocious. It's just so bad. And yes, I could have picked up and started reading it physically, probably like I should have, but that's just not how I read books anymore. I don't know. I'm sorry. 3 stars. Because the audiobook was atrocious. Because I hated the back and forth of like they started doing stuff and then something would happen and they would stop, and that happened like 3 times, and it took 70% of the book for them to finally do it, and like it was fine. So like I understand the hype with the chronic illness rep. I thought that was really good. I really liked Red, but it wasn't, and it wasn't as, let me start over. I don't get the hype, I guess. So I'm glad that I can take it off my shelves now, but also maybe I should have just taken it off my shelves, you know? Like, I don't know if it was worth it. So I don't know what I'm starting next. Hold on. Okay, so for the alphabet project, let me get up. Stop being lazy. Okay. I am going to go with the Goldfinch. It's 32 hours. Although I made it like a quarter of the way through, I am starting from the beginning. So this is gonna take a long time. I hope I like it. Let's go. Okay, so I'm 3 hours into the audiobook. That's 9%. Oh my god. But I am already, I've read this before, but basically the story is about Theo and his mom go to a museum in New York, and there is a bomb blast, and his mom dies, and he also steals a painting of a goldfinch, which is why it's called a goldfinch. Okay. So I'm at the part right now where he just found out that his mom died, and now he's like going into custody. So I will let you know when I get to the part where I stopped reading and where I'm at like a new part that I have never read before. But the fact that I have read 3 hours of it and it's only 9% is just like daunting. Okay, I made it 16% in. That's 5 hours of the audiobook. Honestly, I'm liking it. I liked it the first time I read it. I just got, it's very daunting, okay? Like, I could already be done a book. You know, like that's just where my brain goes. It's stupid. However, I'm really liking it. I honestly am liking it. It's so weird because like not a lot is happening, but like so much is happening at the same time. So right now he is visiting with this guy who knew someone who died with in the blast. So I'm still at a part that I had read previously. So and that's 16%. I swear I must have gotten like 30, I think it was like 34% in. So I'll keep you updated, but this is gonna take me a while. And I know if I leave it to last, I'm not gonna do it. I still have like 5 other books to read. Hello, I've made it 32% into the audiobook of The Goldfinch, and this is where I stopped reading it physically 2.5 years ago. So, now I don't know what happens, so I will see if I like it. I'm still liking it. He's in Las Vegas now, which is where I know I stopped. And he has met Boris, and that's it. Like I said yesterday, a lot is happening, but also like not a lot is happening. It's just like writing. It's hard to explain. Goodbye. Okay, I made it 40%, which is really good. I was able to get a earlier start today. He's still in Vegas. A lot of shit's going on. His dad is awful. Boris kind of sucks. I don't know what's going on, but that's okay. In the beginning, he like starts telling his story like as an adult. He's in like a hotel room in Amsterdam. So like I know at some point we're probably going to go back to him as an adult in Amsterdam, but like I'm only 40% in, and he's like 15 or 16 now, and the explosion happened when he was 13. So like we got a lot to go. I will say I'm liking it. I will say that the N-word has popped up twice, and I believe Donna Tartt is super white. So that was interesting, and I was completely caught off guard by that. I have not seen a lot of reviews about this book, but I have not seen that one. Okay, so I went onto Goodreads to look at some reviews because I honestly hadn't. And I just looked at my friends' reviews, and there's like 36 of my friends have read this, and there's no like in between. It's either 5 stars, amazing, or 2 stars, no review, but they gave it 2 stars and I don't know why. So a lot of the complaints were, this is fucking long. It should have been 200 pages shorter. And like, I get that, but as someone who's like, one of my favorite books is It by Stephen King, and that thing is the biggest book I've ever read in my whole life, and I loved it. And so I don't know. Like, I honestly do think this writing is gorgeous. And it's so weird because still nothing is really happening. So like, it's hard to explain it to you unless you have read it. So I don't know. Okay, I made it up to 45% and something huge just happened. And if I would have stayed up yesterday and read it, then I would have gotten to it last night. Holy shit. Something very big happened. And I'm still really liking this. And I just have no idea like where this book is, what is happening? I don't know. Okay, so I made it to 62% tonight. It was weird. There was like a point in the book where so much was happening all at once. It was crazy. And then there was like, it felt like it was dragging again. And that's kind of where I am now. I feel like it's dragging. But like right when I picked it up again and like right when I started reading, there was so much going on, like back to back to back. So, still liking it. Hopefully I can finish it Saturday. I don't know. Hello. I have 12 hours left of the Goldfinch, which is like the average time for a normal adult book. So, okay. I haven't started it yet tonight, but I just would like to say that it just feels hard to like pick up again. There's no real good places to stop. The chapters are really long, and I don't mind stopping an audiobook in the middle of a sentence. Like, I am good with that. But with this book in particular, it feels hard to do that. So that's interesting. Like, obviously, I feel like with a YA book or a romance book, it's easy to just like get back into the story, no problem. But for this, it feels daunting to do that. So I'm hoping last night Michelle was smart enough to stop at a chapter. So I don't know. So I'm at 62%. I'm hoping to get 20% in tonight. And then I'll have 20% tomorrow, and I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow. This is taking me forever. However, I'm still liking it. Okay, I made it to 86%. I have 4 hours left of the audiobook, I think. I don't even remember. But I am going to finish it tomorrow. I like, a lot of things are happening, but unfortunately now I'm bored, which sucks. And I never want to spoil a book, but obviously it's called the Goldfinch, right? So it has a lot to do with this painting that he stole now. And unfortunately, I was more interested about his life after his mom died. And now that it's going back to the stolen painting, I'm not as into it, because I like character-driven novels, and that's what was happening. And now things are going in different directions. So definitely gonna finish it tomorrow. I'm doing sprints with Rye on her channel tomorrow, so I'm going to be able to finish it, but I don't know. This is a portrait of a person who just finished the Goldfinch. Thoughts. Okay. I liked the first 80% of the book. I really liked seeing what happened to Theo after his mom died, and then when he went to Vegas, and then after Vegas is where it gets spoilery for me, because I didn't know anything that happened after Vegas, but a lot happens after Vegas, right? So I liked all of that so much. I really, really liked that. I don't think I liked the last 20% of the book, which had to do with, I guess, the repercussions of him taking the painting. Truly didn't care about that. I don't know why. that's like what the whole book, I guess, is about. And I just really didn't care about that, unfortunately. And I don't think I liked the ending. It wasn't much of an ending. It was very an open ending, I would say, and I don't really like those. I, especially after putting all this time into listening to the 32-hour audiobook, would like a solid ending, but that's not what I got here. So in conclusion, I'm gonna give this 4 stars because I loved so much of it. But the last 20%, which was like over 5 hours of this audiobook, just dragged for me. And I kind of lost my love for Theo, I guess. So 4 stars. I don't know if I'm going to keep this book truly. My husband has already read it. This is definitely a Castleman book and he has already read it. I don't think I would pick this up again. It's not my usual read. I am more into YA contemporary and romance, and this is neither. So I don't think I'm going to keep this one. So I'm probably going to try to sell it on Pango. So that's what's up. I finished it. I have 5 more books to go for G, but I'm not going to read any of those right now. I am going to read a light, fluffy romance because it's what my soul needs, and then right after that, I'm going to get into a book for G. So this is going to be a very long vlog, and I am so sorry. Hello, I am starting the audiobook of Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. I believe this is her debut. I have had it for many years. I don't know when it came out, but I've had it since then. I got it because of the cover. I said I was gonna go downstairs and get it and hold it up, but I'm too lazy, so here it is. It's on Scribd. I have so many books to read for G, and I have so many other audiobooks out, so I'm really trying to get through these. Obviously, with reading the Goldfinch, which took me 5 days, I think, because of when I am available to listen to audiobooks, that kind of set me back. So, Girl Out of Water, I don't know what it's about. I'll be back to tell you what it's about. Okay, so Scribd doesn't tell you how far in the audiobook you are, but I'm on chapter 3 of 18, so someone else do that math. Of Girl... Oh, wait. Girl Out of Water. And so far, Anise lives in California and she's a really big surfer, and it's her last summer like with her friends, either before college, or I think some of her friends are going to college, so it's like their last summer together, and she was really looking forward to that until her aunt gets in a car accident and they have to go to Nebraska to help with like taking care of her and taking care of her cousins. And I just got to the point where she has landed in Nebraska. My first impressions are that Anise is annoying. She's been super like unhelpful, but also looking at it from the point of view of a 17-year-old who has to give up their summer, I also get it. So, I looked at some reviews just from my friends, and I saw 2 4-star reviews and 1 2-star review. But I really am not letting reviews dictate how I feel anymore, which is growth. I will say I'm reading this on Scribd, and I can only read at 2 times speed, which is not enjoyable for me personally, but I'm very happy to have an audiobook of this anyway. So just want to let you know what this is about. Probably not going to get super far tonight because I am editing 2 videos. So, see ya. Also, I'm not sure how this happened other than to say that I'm dumb, but I have 8 books for this project. I don't know how. I know that I tagged on Get a Life Chloe Brown, but I had already had 7. And I don't know how. So, okay. Okay, so I'm about 40% into Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. I'm listening to the audiobook, and the narrator is fine, but for some reason they are making the love interest Lincoln sound like an 80-year-old man. So every time he comes, I have to remind myself that he's probably like 17. So that's just like something I have noticed, which whatever. Otherwise, Anise is, she's fine. You know, she's a typical narcissistic 17-year-old girl. Like, I was the same way. I wanted what I wanted when I was 17, and I didn't care about anyone else, and that's just how it is when you're 17. So I don't have a problem with her. I will say it seems like long. Like, I'm looking at it now, and it's a big boy. I don't know if it's just this paperback or what, but it's 350 pages. But it just seems like overly long. Like, I don't know how many times she needs to tell me that she's like a excellent surfer. Like, I got it. I got it in the first 2 chapters. I'm on chapter 7 now. I understand that you're good at surfing. So just like little things like that. So, you know, we'll see. Listen, I am not being as harsh of a reviewer anymore, but that doesn't count when books are boring. So I'm DNFing Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. Listen. I made a 61%. And I didn't enjoy any of that 61% at all. And that's okay. Not every book is going to be for me, and unfortunately this wasn't the book for me. I got to the part where nothing was happening. That's it. That's the thing. So I could tell you what was happening, but it wasn't much. It was absolutely too long. And especially for like a contemporary, it was like, I don't want it. I don't want it to be that long. So yeah, G is not going great. So I've DNF'd 2, Get a Life, Chloe Brown 3 stars, and then the Goldfinch 4 stars. If I think about it enough, I would say the Goldfinch gets 4.5. Because I finished that behemoth of a book, but this is just not good, y'all. So sorry. And there's a reason it's been on my shelves for all these years. It's because I got it, and then, you know, I was interested in it when I got it, and then, you know, I lost interest in it, and here we are 5 years later, and it still didn't work out. So let me tell you what I'm going to start next. Okay, so next is Gem and Dixie by Sarah Zarr. I am not super interested in this because it's about sisters, and not to get into my own backstory, but about that. But the audiobook is less than 6 hours. So we'll see. Obviously, I don't want to DNF these books. I have paid money for these books, and I would like to enjoy all of these books that I am reading, but sometimes it's just not happening. So once I figure out what this is about, I will be back. Also, peep my Taylor Swift Lover Collection pajamas. You're welcome. Okay, I'm a little bit more excited about this now because the audiobook narrator is Julia Whalen, and she, besides Bonnie Turpin, is probably my favorite. So, okay, we're a little bit excited. Okay, so far this is about Gem and Dixie. Gem is 17 and Dixie is 14, and they're in high school for the first time together. Gem is a senior and Dixie is a freshman, and they don't have a lot of money. Their mom seems to be super unreliable, and she only works 20 hours a week as a bartender, and has a substance abuse problem, it seems. So Jem is really like trying to be the mom of Dixie, and that is as far as I am. They're having money problems, and it seems like Jem is jealous of Dixie for reasons, I guess, because Jem has to take care of, like, she feels like she has to take care of Dixie. So I'm like 10% in, so that's what I know. Okay, so their dad came back and accidentally somehow, I don't know, left a ton of money. It's undisclosed, but they just keep saying it's a ton of money. And Jem is thinking about running away because now she has all this money to do that. Honestly, I'm a little bored, but I only have 45 minutes until like I go to bed, so I might as well listen to the 45 minutes and see how I feel tomorrow, so we'll see. Okay, so I made it 50% into Jem and Dixie tonight, which is pretty good. It's not remarkable, it's not amazing, it's not awful, so I'm probably gonna finish it. I don't have much to say about this. It's a contemporary about sisters. That's it. Okay, so I finished Jem and Dixie by Sarah Zarr. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I liked it more today than I did yesterday when I started it. It's a really complicated relationship between sisters, which I can appreciate, but honestly, it wasn't like super entertaining. It's hard to describe. It was honestly not a lot going on. I did like the ending, so I'm gonna give it 3.5. I'm not gonna keep it, which sucks because I just realized I actually met Sarah Zarr back in 2017, and it is signed and personalized to me, so, but I'm not gonna keep it. But 3.5 stars, so let me tell you where I'm gonna start next. Hello. I am doing something that I have never done with the alphabet project before, and I don't know how people are gonna feel about it, but I am, hold on, failing. I am not going to read these 3 books. And here's why. I am starting to get into a reading slump because I keep picking up other things. I absolutely don't want to pick up any of these books at all, and I don't want to put myself into a reading slump at all. Next is none of these 3 books interest me anymore. I am slowly but surely taking books off of my shelf and putting them on Pango Books if I know I'm not going to read them. And unfortunately, I am not going to read these. I don't want to get in a slump. I don't think I'm gonna like these. I just, I started, I got 10% into Girls Burn Brighter. I read the synopsis on Goodreads and I felt nothing. And then I started listening to it and absolutely just don't want to DNF 3 books when I don't have to read them if I don't want to. This one especially, I started again like 2 years ago and just stopped. So I don't think it's the same as the Goldfinch where I was like really excited to read that one. I am not excited to read this one. I'm not excited to read any of these. So let's do, I'm not going to do a wrap up of my pajamas. I'll see you tomorrow for a wrap up. Hello, this is the wrap up of the Alphabet Project G. Did not go as well as expected, but also I am actively trying to just pick up books I think I will like and not waste my time on books that I don't want to read, frankly. I want to give books good reviews, and if I think I'm not going to like a book, what is the point? So let me get into the books that I did read. There are 8 books in this stack because I cannot count, so hold on. All right, the first one that I completed was Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I gave this 3 stars, and that is solely because the audiobook sucked, and I was absolutely too lazy to pick it up. I don't think I'm going to continue on with the series unless I get it from the library and there is a completely different narrator. I should have picked it up. I should have. I'm starting to read books physically again. I should have picked it up and I didn't, and I don't think I can now because I did not like it. So, sorry. Next was This Behemoth. This, I think, took me 5 days on audiobook to complete, which I usually like an 8-hour audiobook I can listen to in one night. So that's just perspective. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. So I'm going to bump it up to 5 on Goodreads. That's just what I do now. I'm not going to keep this. I asked my husband if he wanted to keep it. He did not want to keep it either. He read it before me. He doesn't want to keep it. I don't want to keep it. I'm never going to read it again. This isn't my usual read. I enjoyed it. I'm never going to read it again. It was so depressing. I don't know how they made this into a movie because I haven't watched it, but I feel like it would be so boring. So, I don't know. And then next was Gem and Dixie by Sarah Zarr. I gave this 3.5, so I'm going to bump it up to 4 on Goodreads. Once again, normally I would keep a 4-star, but I just don't think I am going to pick this up again. I'm really being selective about the books that I keep on my shelves now, and this just, I don't think is one of them. I would read another Sarah Zarr book, though. It's a good contemporary, and that's what I like. Okay, next are the 2 books that I DNF'd. This is the first book that I read for the project, and that is The Girl with the Red Balloon by Catherine Locke. Look. This was historical fiction romance with time travel. Absolutely not the book for me. I probably shouldn't have picked it up at all, ever. I picked it up when I first started on Booktube and thought I was just gonna like everything that everyone liked, and now I know better almost 4 years later. So, you know, we call that growth. I'm not keeping this. Next is one that I'm really surprised that I DNF'd, but just truly think I have outgrown this kind of book, and that's Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. I believe this is her debut. I just did not like this personally. I did not like the main character, Anise, and that is because I'm almost 32 and could not connect with a 17-year-old, and maybe I just am not a YA person anymore, and it happens. I'm 32. So just did not like anything about this. And so I DNF this. And then once again, these are the books that I had in my pile that I absolutely do not care about. And I'm not going to waste time reading when I'm probably either going to DNF or not give a good review because they're just not books for me anymore. And I don't want to waste my time. The first one is The Great American Whatever by Tim Federal. I have absolutely no desire to read this. The next is The Girls by Emma Cline. I tried to read this one several years ago and put it down because I didn't care about it. Why would I care about it 4 years later? I don't know. And then the next one I did get 10% into and didn't even put it down. I'm not going to mark it as anything. This is Girls Burn Brighter by Sobha Rao. Nothing. I'm so glad that Kayla from Books and Lala liked this 4 years ago, but I am a different person than I was 4 years ago and definitely a different reader, and I have no desire to pick this up. If I would have done the video that this was supposed to go in, maybe I would have liked it 4 years ago. I'm not that person anymore. I didn't do that video. I'm not going to waste my time reading something that I didn't like. So this is the conclusion to G. I don't know how the rest of the letters are gonna go. I took a gander at H, and those look like books I want to read, but honestly, things change all the time. So, thanks for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye!